Good afternoon, everyone. Please enjoy lunch as we get going. My name is Austin Chafee, an assistant project manager with Jacobs Engineering, New England chapter president, and your master of ceremonies this afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Mark H. Hasso Project Excellence and Scholarship Awards program, held here for the first time at the Omni Boston Hotel in the Seaport. We have a wonderful program planned for you this afternoon. I have enjoyed working with the awards and the scholarship subcommittees over the past 8 months in preparation. There are numerous projects and individuals for us to recognize today, so I will keep my opening remarks brief. First, I would ask all to join me in a moment of silence as we offer our condolences to the families of Uvalde, Texas. Thank you. I would also like to ask each person to take a moment and reflect this Memorial Day weekend. Be sure to thank and remember those who have given their lives for our freedom. Second, a quick safety moment. Please identify your closest emergency exit. In the event of an emergency, please remain calm and follow the directions of the Omni Boston Hotel staff. Third, we are recording this event and it will be posted to our YouTube channel following the event once I get around to it. We have a new toy this year, a tripod mounted camera. It follows the presenter, so it's wicked cool. But we're following me over here. Following me over there. All right. Next, we are joined today by CMAA President and CEO Andrea Rutledge. Andrea and her staff at the national level work extremely hard to move our industry forward and support the organization's local chapters. Andrea, may I ask you to stand and be recognized? Thank you. I encourage each award-winning project team to consider submitting your project for a national award. I believe the deadline is June 10th, so there's still time. And I would like to believe that some of the information provided in your submission for our awards carries over, and so you've done a lot of the work here already. And you can register now for the National Conference and Trade Show, CMAA 2022. It is October 9th through 11th in San Diego, California. Check out the QR code in your booklet for all the information about that. Now with those, nope, sorry. Can you still need that page? All right. Next, I want to thank our annual and program sponsors for their support. Each are featured in the program booklet. Without them, we would not be able to achieve all that we do year in and year out. I would like to specifically acknowledge WSP's contribution to the event this year for their work compiling the videos and taking photographs here today. And here are our specific awards program sponsors. Of this group, I would specifically like to extend my gratitude to Stantec for their work assembling and printing the program booklets you have at your seats. Now, with that out of the way or completed, let us begin with our first group of awards. CMAA New England confers Distinguished Service Awards to chapter volunteers who have shown long dedication and commitment to the chapter's mission with a consistently high level of performance, going one step beyond what is expected through initiative and innovation. This year, we have 3 directors ending their tenure on the board: Wendy Riggs-Smith, Pamela Deegan, and Jeffrey Paul. I'll ask each of you to make your way up to this area right over here to my left. I have a few words to share and we'll present you plaques, and then I'll grab a photo with you both. We're going over here this time before you return to your seats. So please join both of you at the same time. Let's see. All right. Wendy Riggs-Smith has over 40 years of transportation-related experience. The last 15 years being with Massport as a senior project manager in the Capital Programs AE Services Department. Wendy has been a New England chapter board member for 12 years and has decided to step down to devote more time to family. Wendy achieved her CCM in 2008. Wendy has predominantly been on the awards subcommittee and as the co-chair of the scholarship subcommittee. Her work on the scholarship subcommittee has been unwavering, starting each year with the outreach to the local colleges with CM curriculum, continuing with reviewing and assessing many applicants, and finally participating in the selection of up to 6 participants or recipients each year. I myself am a recipient of the New England Chapter Scholarship, so I extend my gratitude not only as chapter president, but as someone who personally benefited from the work that Wendy has done on the scholarship subcommittee. Again, please join me in a round of applause for Wendy. Pamela Deegan of Whiting Turner Contracting Company has over 34 years of experience in AE and construction management industry. She has been a New England chapter board member for 5 years, best known for managing our monthly programs. Family endeavors are now Pam's priority as well. Pam is the co-chair of the program subcommittee and has been responsible for coming up with numerous interesting and informative monthly programs, and more critically, orchestrating their implementation. This year, Pam was instrumental in successfully establishing and assuring that our monthly program sessions were eligible for continuing education credit. This value-added concept of achieving credits while participating in a program has been extremely popular. Pam is also always there to help other committees' activities. Last week, she helped set up the golf tournament and manage the student volunteers. Pam, I have thoroughly enjoyed working with you. Your contributions over the past 5 years will be felt for many years to come as we continue to grow. Please join me in thanking Pam. Jeffrey Paul has over 30 years of experience in transportation projects with well-known AE firms and has been involved in the CMAA New England chapter for 10 years. He established JRP Consulting Services in 2019, providing construction management services as the owner representative for clients such as MassDOT and the MBTA. Jeff's workload and commitments at home have required him to curtail his involvement with the board. Jeff started with CMAA New England in 2012, working on the golf subcommittee, and became chair in 2017. He became an active board member in 2016. Our yearly golf tournament is the largest contributor to our scholarship program, each year netting more than $17,000. In Jeff's capable hands and with his innovations in acquiring contributions, our tournament continues to be our major fundraiser. Through his efforts, we have sold out early each year, including 2022. Jeff was not able to be here with us today, as far as I know. He didn't show up, did he? Okay. I wish we had thought of getting a life-size cardboard cutout to take photos with, but let's mark that down as a lesson learned for next year. Please join me in a round of applause for Jeff's impact on the chapter. I would like to now welcome Deborah Caminetti, CCM of Caminetti Consulting, to the podium. She'll be presenting our scholarships as the scholarship co-committee chair or co-chair.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending the awards luncheon. And I want to thank our sponsors and members for their support. Your generosity is what allows us to give the scholarships to these amazing students studying construction management. These students are the future of our profession, and the more support you can give us, the more scholarships we can provide. I'd also like to thank all the members of the scholarship committee. I'd like to start with thanking the leadership of Wendy Riggs-Smith over these past many years. And I'd like to introduce also Sidel Agdagan King, who is going to be taking over as chair of the committee next year. The other committee members I'd like to thank are Katie Cho, Bill Kearney, Tim Johnson, Alessandro Mazzato, Jane O'Brien, and Derek Brantley. So the scholarship applications are sent to all the schools in New England that offers construction management as a major. We're also doing an outreach program to go to the schools, or at least have video conferences with the schools to teach them about CMAA, to get them to join as a member. So that way, hopefully when they graduate, then they'll become members of stay members. The schools we send the scholarship applications are to Fitchburg State University, Northeastern University, Norwich University, Roger Williams, University of Maine, University UMass Amherst, or Wentworth, and Worcester Polytech Institute. So this year we received 11 applications, and as always, selection is very, very difficult. These students are pretty amazing, and you'll see that later when we show the videos. We were able to award 6 $4,000 scholarships this year. And before I name all the recipients, I just also want to mention that the Professor Mark Hasso Endowed Scholarship Fund of CMAA New England, which is a joint scholarship from Wentworth and CMAA. The recipient is named in the fall. So next spring, we will be able to announce that the winner, the award scholarship recipient. So this year, I would like for the scholarship recipients to stand as I announce their name. Bailey Amaral from Roger Williams, Chase Cook from Wentworth, Alex Palageropoulos from Roger Williams, Audrey Corcoran from Roger Williams, Prashant Patel from Northeastern, and Rajul Raka from WPI wasn't able to attend. Thank you. So thank you again for your continued support, and the more support we have, the more we can help these students. Thank you.
All right, we did request video submissions from our scholarship recipients. So I'm going to cue those up now so that everyone can hear from them if you don't get the opportunity to talk to them in person.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bailey Amaral, and I'm a junior at Roger Williams University, majoring in construction management with a minor in business and a concentration in economics. I wanted to start off by thanking the CMAA NE Scholarship Committee for selecting me and a selection of my fellow peers as recipients of the scholarship. After graduating from Roger Williams University, my hope is to continue my work with virtual design and construction programs, also known as VDC, which troubleshoots issues on job sites before they occur. My goal is to work with these programs on larger buildings at the commercial level to make the physical constructing part of the project more efficient. Continuing to work with VDC programs after I graduate will help me reach my career goal of becoming a superintendent. Being well-versed with new trends of technology gives me the opportunity to enhance my skills as a well-rounded leader as I make my way into the superintendent role. Being a young female in a male-dominated field has always pushed me to work harder. Since I started my construction career at such a young age, I know how important it is for women to be represented in this field. As a woman in the construction industry, I know the rise to such a position may be a challenging one, but I possess all the qualities that a superintendent needs to perform as a respected leader and complete jobs with the utmost efficiency. I would like to thank the Scholarship Committee again for this opportunity, and I look forward to meeting you all today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Audrey, and I'm currently a junior majoring in construction management here at Roger Williams University with a double minor in business management and visual arts. I am also the president of the Women in Construction Club here on campus and the Arising president of the Construction Management Club. I am currently working on a research project that primarily investigates the usage of blockchain technology in the construction industry. And I would first like to start off by saying thank you to the Scholarship Committee for choosing me to be a recipient of this scholarship this year. I am honored and truly grateful to be a recipient. I chose CM because my dad is a construction superintendent for a local construction company, and throughout the years he used to bring me onto all the different job sites he was working on, and I just fell in love with the construction process, that the construction industry just feels like second nature to me. The past 2 summers, I have been an intern with a general contractor in Connecticut as a project management intern, and I'm very excited to continue this learning process this summer with Shama out of their Providence office. After getting my bachelor's degree from Roger Williams University, I would like to pursue and get a master's degree. In my free time, I love biking, cooking, and exploring the state of Maine. But again, I would just like to say thank you again to the Scholarship Committee and congratulations to all of the other scholarship recipients as well.
Hello, Construction Management Association of America members and fellow construction management professionals and students. My name is Chase K. Cook, and I am a junior majoring in Wentworth's construction management program. Being here today matters so much to me because we work in a field where we build such enduring structures that hold memories, provide shelter, and provide places for people to gather. I'm so honored to be an award recipient in a field I love so much. Thank you to the Construction Management Association of America New England region for this amazing opportunity. My goals in the short term is to become a very well-rounded construction management professional, and I would also like to thank Wentworth Institute of Technology's Construction Management Department and the Construction Management Club for the amazing opportunities they provide. I host a podcast through the Construction Management Club where we interview industry professionals, and we're always looking for more guests. So if you are interested, please contact me. And my goals in the longer term are to add value to organizations with sustainable construction management practices.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alec Kalgeropoulos, and I am a construction management major going into my senior year at Roger Williams University. I'd like to start off by thanking the CMAA New England Scholarship Committee for selecting me to receive one of this year's undergraduate scholarships. I am extremely honored and thankful to have been selected to receive this award. As for a little bit about myself and my interests in the construction management industry, in my previous internships, I have gotten the opportunity to work in both the heavy civil and commercial construction sectors. Specifically in the commercial construction sector, I've gotten the opportunity to work on both healthcare and lab projects. During my time working on these projects, I have particularly drawn an interest in the healthcare sector, which I hope to continue working in after graduating this upcoming year. In addition to working in this sector, I hope to be in a field position as I enjoy interacting with the workers on site and solving problems in the field as they arise. I also have a heavy interest in green construction. Outside of my studies at Roger Williams University, this past summer I earned my LEED Green Associate credential. I hope to continue my green education studies by pursuing my LEED AP credential this upcoming year. I was drawn into the construction management industry by the opportunity to create projects that positively impact people. That is exactly what I aspire to do as I enter the construction field. Thank you again to the Scholarship Committee, and I look forward to meeting everyone. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Rajul Raka. I'm an architect. Currently, I'm a graduate student pursuing masters in construction project management at WPI. To start with, I would like to thank CMAA NE for honoring me as a recipient of this scholarship. I'm truly humbled to receive this award and very thankful for the support. Looking towards the future, I would like to work out in the field of construction. To become successful in this career, I would like to gain experience about challenges faced due to time, budget, and specifications from the inception to the completion of the project. With this background of architecture and knowledge of construction management, I want to make sure I bring in constant innovation in the management principles, human psychology, and awareness of social and sustainable responsibility. My areas of interest include constantly gaining knowledge of new emerging construction technology and softwares. I like to work with digital solutions and making those digital solutions inclusive on the site. I'm eager and excited to pursue my career as a construction manager and explore more of the opportunities that the field of construction offers. As a recipient of this incredible scholarship, I can only hope to continue my education, learning from my peers, and openly explore the world of construction as it evolves today. As I begin my journey, I'm not only motivated to make myself and my family proud, but you also, while I search to find a career in construction management. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm very blessed to be awarded with this CMAA scholarship.
Civil engineering is like knowing how to build, but construction management is making sure that whatever you build is built economically. I come from India. My name is Rishabh Patil, and in a traditional gesture, allow me to say Namaste. I am pursuing Master of Science in Civil Engineering with concentration in Construction Management from Northeastern University, Boston campus. Ever since my time at school, I have been intrigued to recognize the mechanics of construction projects. My curiosity lied in understanding the management of time, labor, and finances alongside the challenges that may occur during the construction of mega infrastructural projects. I thus considered civil engineering to be my calling from the very outset. The world is in the need of sustainable construction practices due to ever increasing global warming and cement carbon footprints. I want to implement these sustainable practices in the practical world with the help of my civil engineering knowledge and building information and modeling technology. With my previous work experience, I believe that teamwork, effective communication, and time management are the three key qualities which makes a great construction manager. I aim to pursue my passion limitlessly and utilize my skills for the betterment of society and also to ensure on the projects which are mutually beneficial to society and my career. I would like to thank my parents for supporting me on my decision of pursuing masters. I am grateful to Professor Ali Turan and Professor Ranwang for believing in me and backing me up. Finally, I would like to thank Deborah community and the entire scholarship committee of Construction Managers Association of America, New England chapter for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
I am so glad to see our scholarship recipients here with us today. I hope as many people as possible can speak with them and get to know them. I'd like to also echo Deborah's comments regarding the Wentworth Mark Hasso Endowed Scholarship and quickly draw your attention to the advertisement within the program booklet. It gives you information about the past recipient as well as information if you would like to make a contribution to the fund. Our Person of the Year recipient is John Phillips. John has been a New England chapter board member for over 18 years, plus or minus. I say plus or minus because John is our historian and we're relying on his records for that account. During that time, John has worked on a variety of committees and became president in 2013. He currently serves as the co-chair of the Golf Subcommittee and as a long-standing member of Awards, Finance, and Advisory and Governance. John is a dedicated individual who gives his all to the endeavor at hand with purpose and steadfastness. John started his career in 1969 working for the California Division of Highway, Los Angeles. Moved back to New England and worked for C.E. McGuire, Massport, Bryant Associates, and finally O'Brien and Gear in DC and Providence before retiring in 2018 as a vice president program manager. Some of the areas of his projects are the BRA South End and North Station urban renewal areas, MWRA Deer Island wastewater treatment plant, Mass DOT CA/T, and multi-year EPA mandated lead water service removal projects. Memorable projects for John were for the BRA, Massport, and MWRA. For the BRA, John managed the demolition and implosion of the Madison Hotel next to the old Boston Garden under a federal deadline to clear the site for the then new Thomas P. Tip O'Neill Federal Building, the cornerstone of the North Station urban renewal. Both the Celtics and Bruins were in the playoffs at that time. This was followed by Massport's South Boston infrastructure improvements, 5 significant separate concurrent contracts in support of the Commonwealth Pier World Trade Center development. A few years later, he managed the MWRA early site preparation contract, which was 7 individual overlapping contracts preparing and clearing Deer Island for the new wastewater treatment plant, ranging from a massive earthworks project reconfiguring the island to the demolition of Fort Dawes reinforced World War II bunker facility. We as a chapter are so very fortunate that John has chosen to remain active in CMAA New England. He could have chosen to spend all his time in retirement on the pickleball court, but he does split his time, which we appreciate. And I am grateful on a personal level. John is a significant mentor of mine and is one of the main reasons for my involvement and continued professional growth. Congratulations, John.
Last one was pretty cool. Whoops, wait a minute. Want to hold that phone? Thank you. All right. Not following me. All right. This is quite an honor. I only found out about a week and a half ago. My wife and I went down to Charleston and Savannah for first post-COVID vacation. I came back and was told, oh, by the way, the new person of the year is you. It was quite they all huddled together while I was gone. Anyway, like they mentioned, in 1969, my career started, all right? And I believe that one of the driving factors about getting the person of the year is that they wanted to give it to me while I was still vertical. So anyway, looking back over 20 years ago, a very good friend of mine, Carl Seipel, he worked for Massport, and he also was a founding father of the New England chapter, dating back to, I think it was 1994. He gives me a call, and he says, John, I'd like to talk to you about CMAA. And he starts to tell me about the mission statement and what they do and the scholarships and all this other stuff. And I said, wow, this is right down my alley. I really like construction. I've done design and construction. I've been my entire life. So I said to myself, yeah, I'll join. And he says, oh, great. Now, would you take over the golf tournament? So for the next 10 plus years, I ran the golf tournament, and I golf once a year at that tournament. So, but anyway, the mission statement for CMAA is something I really, truly believe in, because I really have done a lot of engineering and follow. I was lucky enough, I had a mentor a long time ago where I'd do the design, and I would also go right into doing the construction management for whatever I designed or the people that I was working with. Of course, that golf tournament from 10 years, we just had our golf tournament, the 26th annual golf tournament. And what's really great is that we estimate that we cleared somewhere between $20,000 to $22,000 for CM scholarship. That is outstanding. And that thank you very much for the corporate sponsors and the individual players. Without them, that would not be even a reality. After all these years, I truly believe in the CMAA goals and the CCM certification. It has been gratifying, truly gratifying to see along that 10 to 15 years that the owners are now realizing the benefits of using the CMAA techniques and using CCM professionals. Of course, any organization needs to be self-sustaining and to nurture its next generation of CMs. So each year, our chapter reaches out to area colleges with a CM curriculum and award scholarships. Every year, I'm lucky enough to meet these CM students at the golf tournament, and they have been outstanding. They are, this year was 8 students, 2 of them were recipients. They are hardworking, mature, and I hope all of you consider them for either an internship or a co-op position, and once they graduate, permanent position. In closing, I truly enjoy being a part of CMAA, the chapter, and especially the board. Being retired, it keeps me aware of what's happening to the field that I was in, and also keeping my the pulse of the community in the metropolitan area, the Metro Boston area. And the board is really a close and diverse group of people who get chapter business done, and while we're all having fun. One of the things that I'm probably noted for on the board is I tend to be their scribe. I write things, and I also have a tendency to be looked at to back check work. Now, what I have to say is that it's not just me. I have to thank my wife, Joanne, because she is an English and a journalism major, and she helps me all the time. So it's not my doing by myself. Anyway, what I'd like to do is thank you again for listening to me, and I think I've come to the point where I have to say goodbye. Thank you.
John, I'm sorry I didn't have the camera set up to follow you around stage. I should have had thought of that. We can do it after. We can get it set up at the end. All right. We are now ready to recognize our award-winning projects. Each award-winning project team has put together a short video clip highlighting their project. This is our third time utilizing videos, and we like the precision and the value added. We hope you enjoy the format, and we thank each of the project teams for their efforts in creating the videos that we get to then use at our program. It is not a small task to ask of each team between when they submit and getting it in time for this program. So I thank their efforts in putting together some amazing videos. Teams will find their trophies and certificates at their tables, or trophies, I believe. Certificates are provided electronically, potentially. I will introduce a category. I will play the video, and then I will ask the project team to stand at their seats for applause. We have Steve here, our photographer, so if you stand, wave to the room, and then orient yourself towards Steve, towards the front of the room, he'll be trying to grab a quick photo of the team while it stands. But we're not doing anything crazy. We would like to keep the program moving along, so at that point in time, we're asking everyone to return to their seats as we can move on to the next project. Please give me a moment and I will pull up our video. All right. Our first category is building projects, new construction, less than $10 million. The award goes to Ballardvale Fire Station, Andover, Massachusetts, submitted by PMA Consultants.
There was a lot of public interest in this project, and because of that, it was really important to hire an outstanding project team. That process started with Context Architecture, who engaged all of the community stakeholders, the neighbors here in Ballardville, the Ballardville Historic District, the Preservation Commission, and all of the other boards and committees, including our own town building committee, which had to be part of the approval process for this project. Context Architecture spent almost 2 years working with neighbors, working with the different boards and committees. We had late night meetings, early morning meetings, all for the purpose of bringing consensus around a final design that would ultimately serve the needs of the Andover Fire Department and result in a building that fit within the historic character of Ballardville.
The Ballardville Fire Station, located in the historic Ballardville district of Andover, was a great accomplishment for our community. We not only needed a building that fit the needs of the 21st century fire service, but we also needed one that fit the historic character of the Ballardville section of Andover.
The owner's project manager, PMA Consultants, worked tirelessly to keep the project moving and meet our aggressive timeline and established budget. PMA continuously informed all stakeholders and neighboring properties of project operations to ensure relationships were positive, effective, and productive throughout the construction process. The general contractor, McKay Construction, managed its design, bid, build project on a tight site next to the existing station, which remained operational throughout construction. The onset of COVID-19 required that McKay and the project team work together to increase safety protocols, fast-track submittals, and seek out material substitutions if needed to keep the project going on schedule without reducing quality.
I'd also like to thank the project team on behalf of Andover Fire Rescue and the Andover community.
We are very proud of this project because it is a true reflection of our community. It's a reflection of the input of our neighbors in Ballardville, and it's a reflection of the input of so many people in our community that help make this project a reality. I want to thank our entire project team, from Context Architecture to McKay Construction to PMA Consultants, and to all of our boards and committees and staff that were all part of this project being a success. Thank you for recognizing our efforts.
Congratulations to the project team. Did they stand? All right, we're gonna try that again. Congratulations to the team. Right, so what we're gonna do is don't clap until I say congratulations to the project team. And then they'll know to stand, and then you can clap. Everybody gets one. Our next category is building projects, new construction, less than $30 million. Department of Unemployment Assistance, Brockton, Massachusetts, submitted by Bond Builder.
We often find that the ultimate success of a project is directly related to the effective collaboration between the construction manager, the design team, and the owner. There may be no better example of this than on the Department of Unemployment Assistance project. The project was to replace a previously condemned and long vacated office building on busy Main Street in downtown Brockton. The new 3-story building houses workspace for DOA and satellite space for Massasoit Community College. The use of cross-laminated timber, CLT for short, presented opportunities for design and sustainability. The new building will achieve LEED Gold certification. The implementation of the CLT structure within the public procurement law required a creative approach with an early design assist package that could only be achieved under the CM at risk procurement model. The existing building was flanked with 0 lot line adjacent properties and within a few feet of busy Main Street. Several logistical challenges were solved during pre-construction, with creative and cost-effective solutions incorporated into the bid documents. During pre-construction, Bond determined that the adjacent abutting building structure had also deteriorated such that the building plan for demolition was unintentionally providing lateral support of the failed structure of the adjacent building intended to remain. Bond collaborated with the design team to develop the most effective approach to retrofit the existing occupied abutting structure to ensure that the demolition of the existing building could happen safely. Bond Building developed an approach that allowed for the 3 planned stories of masonry bearing party walls to be erected in one sequence, temporarily braced ahead of the CLT. This was accomplished with carefully planned temporary shoring elements that were pre-coordinated with the CLT structure. With the design intending to expose as much of the CLT as possible, the placement and routing of all exposed building systems was critical. Working closely with the design team, Bond Building pre-coordinated the building systems with the CLT elements using 3D BIM technology prior to installation. Bond's partnership with DCAM and the design team allowed for timely decisions when additional challenges arose during construction. In the end, a magnificent project was delivered for which we could not be more proud of.
Congratulations to the project team. All right. Next, we have building projects, new construction, less than $100 million. EMD Sorno Horizon Building, Billerica, Massachusetts, submitted by Erling Construction.
If you didn't have that level of respect for safety on the project, it may have been harder to maybe quickly change or try to influence people to maybe change some of their safety behaviors in respect to now this new threat of COVID. But I think on this project, because of that effort early on to build that safety culture, that it made incorporating COVID protocols, you know, maybe a little more natural and a little easier, maybe, if we didn't have that to start with.
Luckily, we were very proactive in buying out our materials early on, and we bought with the subs storing them off-site, so we really didn't get hit with any manufacturing delays or anything like that because we had everything already procured and waiting for us. On this project, we implemented a process called Prevention Through Design, PTD.
What it does, it gets the architect, it gets the design people, it gets the engineers, the safety department, and then the end user or the owner. It gets them all together at the table before the building is completed and drawn out.
You know, there was a couple instances like adding roof parapets, you know, during construction, so workers never had to tie off on the roof while working up there. Roof davits, you know, so if we did have to tie off working on edges or anything like that, there was a way to do that.
Congratulations to the project team. All right. Next, we have building projects, new construction, greater than $100 million. The award goes to Brookline High School Expansion Project, submitted by Hill International. Congratulations to the project team. Building projects, renovation, modernization, less than $30 million. Campus Center addition at Cotting School, submitted by Erling Construction.
Recreational spaces for Friday nights for our Circle of Friends program with 2 bowling alleys. Gives us some art space, and as soon as that's completed, it unlocks a whole variety of new spaces within our school.
I'm Ben Wallace, president of the senior class of 2021. This is going to be a great addition to the school. Honestly, I very much look forward to seeing it when it's done, and I think it's going to be really great for our basketball games.
You'll see on the wall when the gym is done, the motto, once a Falcon, always a Falcon. That's Cotting School.
This space is a space that we envision to bring people together.
Congratulations to the project team. Our next category is building projects, renovation, modernization, greater than $50 million. The award goes to Yukon Athletic District Development, Stores, Connecticut, submitted by Daniel O'Connell's Sons.
The Yukon Athletic District Development Project is located on the main campus in Stores, Connecticut. It was a $79 million job, and Daniel O'Connell was the construction manager on the project. The job started in August of 2018 and was substantially complete in April of 21. So the project included 4 new athletic fields: soccer, baseball, softball, and lacrosse. In addition, there was a 75,000 square foot performance center that contains locker rooms, coaches' offices, weight rooms, and training facilities.
There were a lot of challenges on this project. It was a busy job site every day, a lot of labor, a lot of very large equipment moving around. We were able to successfully manage the logistics, quality control, schedule, and most importantly, safety. We accumulated 400,000 man hours of zero lost time accidents. We worked together every day as a team, making sure everybody inside the job site was safe just as well as outside the job site fence. It was such a great experience to be part of the Yukon Athletic District Development Team.
Daniel O'Connell's Sons came to the table with a host of constructability, sequencing, and subcontractor bid packaging scoping concerns. This was typical of the meetings we had throughout the entire process, where the entire team would collectively problem solve. That is, architects, engineers, and contractors listening to each other's concerns and coming together to solve the problem successfully, which resulted in the delivery of the project on time, under budget, and exceeding owners' expectations.
So this was a very large and complex project. Took 30 months, but at the end of the day, it's really nice to go to a game and see the fans, see the athletes, see the community in general, really enjoy what we built and what we all worked so hard to do as a team. It couldn't have been done without working together with Yukon, with the designers, and it was a really successful project and really satisfying to be a part of.
Successful capital projects are symbolic of great project teams.
The Yukon Athletic District project was just that. We couldn't be more pleased with the entire team effort put forth on a challenging project built during unprecedented times.
Congratulations to the project team. So we will move now into the infrastructure category. We'll go with infrastructure less than $10 million. Runway 1432 and taxiways J and J1 rehabilitation, Logan International Airport, submitted by Massachusetts Port Authority.
At Massport, safety and security are our top priorities. We are regularly updating our facilities and infrastructure at Boston Logan International Airport to maintain safety and construction standards. Due to the pandemic, we've had to make some strategic adjustments to our business practices.
This was a necessary project to improve the runway and taxiways pavement condition index to meet the FAA's safety standards, as well as improve drainage, skid resistance, and update the lighting system. The entire project had to be done in 60 days. A group of project managers and staff worked closely together to produce a design, set of bid documents, and construction phase services on the fly. Together, we rolled up our sleeves and got the job done as smoothly and professionally as a consultant would. The result was a successful project that was completed under budget.
Working with the Massport team, McCourt Construction was able to complete the rehabilitation work to improve the surface condition, ride smoothness, friction, and drainage characteristics of the runway and taxiways to reduce the potential for foreign object debris. Due to Massport's seamless coordination, we were able to complete this project on time.
The project schedule required a 25-day closure on runway 1432. Through our routine coordination meetings with project and airport staff, the airlines, and the FAA, we were able to get the job done with little to no impact on the airport and airline operations. We worked efficiently together, which allowed us to reopen the runway 6 days earlier than scheduled.
The project to rehabilitate runway 1432 and taxiways J and J1 is an example of our team innovation and creativity. We utilized our in-house talent to design the project using 3D technologies, leading to considerable saving in engineering fee. Congratulations to the entire team who worked on this project, and thank you to CMAA for recognizing their hard work.
Congratulations to the project team. Infrastructure, less than $30 million. L1332 C3A, B, DC, and BC roadways, Logan International Airport. Yeah. Submitted by Stantec. I even wrote it out exactly how I wanted to say it.
The C3A project is a vital part of the new terminal area roadway network here at Logan International Airport, providing a critical HOV link between Terminal B and Terminal C. The team used VIM and Lean effectively to design and construct the project within this very congested site.
This design bid build project included a complex steel girded viaduct structure with at-grade roadway within a confined work zone and active pedestrian and vehicular traffic adjacent to and often bisecting the site.
The project also included the modernization of airport utility services, preservation of existing critical infrastructure, and detailed coordination of connection services to adjacent projects. To combat this congestion below grade, the project team made use of intensive federated 3D modeling and clash detection during both the design and construction phases.
This site presented many logistical challenges, with adjacent projects on 3 sides and the concurrent demolition of the old air traffic control tower at the center of the project. Despite the congested site, D.W. White and the entire project team were still able to prioritize airport security and the safety of all on-site personnel, with 0 OSHA recordables or lost time accidents throughout the duration of the project.
The lean process has enabled us to perform efficiently and pivot effectively. We co-located in Big Room to problem solve as a team. We use Last Planner system to streamline our workflow through task level scheduling, full planning, and weekly check-ins. The transparency and accountability of lean allowed stakeholders to understand each other's needs and perform as one unit toward one vision of the completed project.
The Terminal D2C roadways project was complex and challenging, but thanks to our partners, Stantec and D.W. White, we were able to successfully complete the project and fulfill Massport's condition of satisfaction.
Congratulations to the project team. All right, we already got Massport, so we'll just get a Stantec photo and we'll move forward. Infrastructure less than $50 million. Exit 103 Open Road Tolling and Bridge Reconstruction Project submitted by WSP.
Known for its natural beauty and rugged coastline, Maine attracts adventurers all year long. At one of the busiest exits in the state, Maine Turnpike Authority's Exit 103 Open Road Tolling and Bridge Reconstruction Project safely and successfully improved the roadway and kept traffic moving for both residents and vacationers. The I-295 and I-95 intersection is critical for inter-region travel and the Maine economy. Bringing together both ORT and bridge reconstruction simultaneously required a team with a singular focus and clear lines of communication. The WSP team worked closely with 2 separate contractors, Sargent Corporation for tolling work and Wyman & Simpson for bridge reconstruction. Multiple contractors, work area overlap challenges, and a global pandemic contributed to the project's complexity, but daily communication, innovative thinking, and creative planning all contributed to the project's success. Expert maintenance of traffic planning aided in keeping the project on schedule and traffic moving. The use of a cable saw allowed for a less destructive demolition of an existing canopy, allowing its removal without interrupting traffic 1 construction phase sooner than originally scheduled. Serving as an extension of Turnpike Authority staff, the WSP team partnered with each of the contractors and a field-engineered design was developed to maintain traffic throughout construction. The nimble teams met daily to discuss the day's activities and adjust, if needed, to adhere to the project's critical path schedule. Also included in the contract was construction of a new administration building and tunnel for toll booth operations and maintenance. Uniquely, this building includes a full-height basement, allowing for the build-out of full communication systems in an easily accessible space. Traditional construction materials and innovative means and methods were brought together safely, effectively, and on budget, ensuring a successful roadway enhancement that keeps Mainers moving.
Congratulations to the project team. Infrastructure, less than $100 million. Terminal C Canopy, Logan International Airport, submitted by Skanska USA Building.
The Terminal C canopy and upper deck was one of the numerous strategic projects aiming to update infrastructure between Terminal B and Terminal C at Logan International Airport. The team has met the critical elements of the Massport condition of satisfaction, new amenities to improve the customer experience, and much-needed additional vehicle capacity for the terminal.
For Massport, it's all about the passenger experience. This design transformed the whole curbside experience into a light-filled space that's very easy to navigate for passengers. Design innovation and sustainability are also really critical to Massport. This air-supported roofing system is so lightweight, it requires significantly less structural steel, which of course saves carbon. The solar panels generate clean power for lighting and other canopy electrical loads with a surplus, making this a net positive energy project.
This highly visible and public-facing project had extensive communication and engagement with stakeholders, airlines, and Massport's operations team. These partnerships allowed this disruptive and complex project to be carried out successfully with relative minimal impact to airport operations.
During the pre-construction process, our plan was to integrate constructability and phasing into the design elements in order to minimize disruption to the airport traffic and traveling public. A tremendous amount of work went into pre-planning and traffic modeling to minimize the potential impacts to the ongoing daily operations.
It was important not only to strive for zero safety incidents amongst the workers, but also to protect the airport passengers and employees throughout this project. The project consisted of some high-risk trades like demolition, structural steel, roofing, elevators, and most importantly, the air-supported roofing systems, ETFE. In 3 years, we logged over 380,000 craft worker hours with zero lost time incidents.
When it comes to lean construction, the project team worked hand in hand with Massport to implement the last planner system, practice the plan do check cycle, transform the big room approach into a digital space at the onset of the pandemic, all to reduce waste and promote continuous improvement throughout the project.
Massport is thrilled with the outcome of the Canopy project and would like to thank the entire team that came together to make this endeavor a success, not only for Massport and our partners, but for the traveling public that we serve. Thank you, CMAA, for recognizing us.
Congratulations to the project team. Infrastructure greater than $100 million. Berth 10 construction, Conley Terminal Modernization Program, submitted by GEI Consultants.
The Port of Boston is the oldest continuously active major port in the Western Hemisphere. Conley Container Terminal is a critical economic asset for the New England region, serving more than 2,500 businesses and home to more than 9,000 jobs and responsible for $8.2 billion in annual economic impact.
The new Berth 10 creates 1,300 linear feet of berthing and is designed to accommodate 14,000 TEU post-Panamax cargo vessels. The deck is supported by 862 26-inch and 30-inch diameter steel pipe piles, between 60 and 105 feet in length. Due to nearby Logan Airport flight path restrictions, ship-to-shore Berth 10 cranes were custom designed. The low-profile cranes stand 205 feet tall. They are the tallest and heaviest ship-to-shore cranes in the world. The crane booms can reach up to 22 containers wide. Dredging and underwater rock blasting were implemented to achieve the desired draft of -50 feet mean lower low water.
Work had to be coordinated around a time of year restriction issued by the regulatory agencies. Construction had to take place within an operating container terminal without impacting existing operations. Waterside work had to be coordinated within a narrow 600-foot wide channel, adjacent to active cruise and container vessel operations. Work took place during the start of the COVID pandemic. The team utilized the Cooperative Soil Management Plan, where no urban fill or oily soil was transported for off-site disposal in landfills. Instead, it was treated, rendered inert, or processed and retained on-site.
Massport maintains an extensive outreach program with the community and incorporated community input into the project. The team fostered and maintained a close, productive relationship with the contractor throughout construction. The project was completed ahead of schedule, finished under its budget, and had no cases of COVID.
With the completion of the new boat 10 and commissioning of the 3 new cranes, Conley Terminal is big ship ready. This regional significant project allows the Port of Boston to remain competitive and ready for growth.
Congratulations to the project team. Our next award is the Chapter Choice Award. The selection committee loved the community impact and involvement on this project. Chelsea Commuter Rail Station and Railroad Signal Upgrades submitted by Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority.
Chelsea Station, a part of the Silver Line Gateway, the program which provided bus rapid transit and upgraded rail service to East Boston and Chelsea. The Chelsea project was led by MBTA's Capital Delivery, designed by AECOM, and constructed by AA Will Construction in partnership with Keolis. This new station is designed to exceed ADA and all state requirements for an accessible and equitable passenger circulation. Construction began in August of 2019 and was completed last December, on time, on budget. Platforms are built by fiber reinforced polymer, a material highly resistant to de-icing chemicals. This was the first state permit to use FRP for a station. Extended life and low maintenance are key for MBTA. While the signal and PTC were getting upgraded, 6 track crossings were reconstructed with minimal impacts to rail operations and car traffic. AECOM wishes to thank MassDOT and the MBTA for the opportunity to design the station and CMAA for the recognition of this project.
Congratulations to the project team. Our final award this afternoon is our Project of the Year. This project submission beat out each of the other submissions in the eyes of the awards subcommittee. Chelsea Route 1 Viaduct Rehabilitation submitted by Skanska McCourt Joint Venture.
The Skanska McCourt Joint Venture wishes to thank CMAA for this prestigious award. This job was a great example of collaboration between our joint venture, MassDOT, and their design engineer, HNTB, to solve problems and keep the job on track and on budget. The design for the Chelsea Viaduct replacement was simple. Cast concrete piers around the existing columns. Install new steel sister beams. Demolish the existing bridge superstructure. And Construct a new deck that included the use of 313 prefabricated bridge units, the most ever used on a job in New England. The contract documents suggested the work to be performed at night, on top of the elevated roadway in 2 separate work zones. Steel towers were to be erected under the roadway to support it during the work. Each night, roadways were reduced to 1 lane each way with zipper barriers. There were heavy fines in the morning if the lanes were reopened late. The Skanska-McCourt team devised a plan to perform the work within a single, permanent work zone, with most of our equipment operating from the ground during the day. This significantly reduced the impact of construction on the Chelsea abutters. Many of their houses were a few yards from the elevated roadway structure. The elimination of the below-deck support steel and the zipper barriers significantly reduced the risk and resulted in a savings of $15 million for Mass DOT. Our team modeled the entire project in 3D to perform a constructability analysis. We detected some issues with existing column locations. We helped with the successful design solution of a critically sensitive connection detail between the new and existing bridge structures. We modeled the bearing connections of the PBUs and the sister beams, successfully eliminating potential fit-up issues. We worked with HNTB to make the reinforcing steel fit within the formwork for the cast-in-place concrete piers. At the conclusion of construction, Mass DOT expressed their satisfaction with our transparent and collaborative team approach to the work. They acknowledged that our risk mitigation protocols helped to make the Chelsea Viaduct project one that we can all be proud of.
We are thrilled to welcome members of this stellar project to the stage to share some additional insights into what made this project a success. Forgive me for keeping your bios short. Paul Panini is Senior Vice President for Skanska, responsible for all civil operations in New England. He also founded and manages Skanska's National VDC Center of Excellence in Boston. Paul was instrumental in the creation of the Skanska-McCourt Chelsea Viaduct work plan and assisted in various engineering solutions during the job. Paul received a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Tufts University. Rob Pine is Vice President of Operations for Skanska and has almost 30 years experience in construction supervision and management concentrated in heavy civil construction projects. Rob was instrumental in the de-risking of the Chelsea Viaduct project. He served as the project executive for the job, overseeing all aspects of the work, and was the primary contact with the Mass DOT management team. He has a bachelor's and master's in civil engineering and is a registered professional engineer. Andrew Giocondi is a project manager for Skanska Civil and served in that role for the Chelsea Viaduct project. In addition to his management of the day-to-day operations on the job, Andrew was instrumental in identifying the construction issues and creation of engineering solutions for those issues. He also has a bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Tufts University. Paul, Rob, Andrew, stage is yours, and please correct anything that I said wrong. And that's not the beginning. Come on, from the beginning. And click your thing.
Okay. On behalf of Ryan McCourt and the Skanska-McCourt joint venture, we're really grateful that this project, such a great project, was recognized, is being recognized. And it didn't start off very well for us. When we first submitted the metrics for this job to our risk committee, our national risk committee, they looked at the intense schedule and the location and working at night. And basically they came back and they said, you can't bid it. So that was the perfect motivation for us to look for a way to change the job and make it, perhaps reduce the risk. You know, it was all about risk mitigation for us. Rob's going to walk you through the plan that we created, which helped knock the risk way down. And then we were finally able to convince the CEO that we should bid the job. He finally relented, said, go ahead. And then the bids came in and we were $17 million low. And he just called me and said, what the heck are you doing to me? You know, first you stressed me out, now you give me this. We said, don't worry, it's going to be a good job. And that's exactly the way it turned out. But along the way, there were the usual issues, unforeseen conditions. But the way they were dealt with here, and Andrew's going to walk you through that, is instead of stepping back and saying, you know, tell us what to do, we dove in and we found a solution. And we worked collaboratively with the owner to come up with a solution, and the engineers. So that was the really keynote of this job, was collaboration. That's what really made it a great job. Rob?
Great. Thanks. Yeah, so as Paul mentioned, you know, we did some innovative things on this project, and I'm going to run through a little bit of the innovation that we did pre-bid and how we resequenced the job. And then Rob's going to take us through some of the constructability challenges that we solved during the project. So, so right off the bat, one of the first things we do with most of our projects is we model them out in at least 3D. And what we're looking for is innovation and de-risking the project, specifically for the owner, the traveling public, our own workers, and just ourselves. So our focus here in Chelsea was on the sequencing and construction schedule. That's where we found the greatest benefit for innovation here. You saw a little bit in the video we just played, but I'll take you through some of that process in a little bit more detail. So the suggested sequence for the project, we got Route 1 viaduct heading north and south through Chelsea here. 3 lanes in each direction as the existing condition as it currently was. So the suggested sequence was to reduce those 3 lanes down to 2 in each direction using a zipper barrier to create smaller daytime work zones. And then at night, you use that zipper barrier and create a 2-lane work zone to actually achieve anything. It's just such a tight area, such a dense community. This was the only way to go forward with it. You can see underneath there a little bit of the blue overhang bracing, which was to be the whole length of the job per the suggested sequence based on cut lines, existing framing, and all of those details. So we've reduced our lanes down to 1 each at night, and now we have a work zone where we can actually start doing some demolition and reconstruction. So you can see the blue shoring towers that come into play here. Originally planned, a lot of the equipment was to be staged on the deck. Very deteriorated structure. That's why we're there replacing it. So that was, you know, a risk that we look to mitigate and improve upon. So each night you take your lanes down to 1, you go in, start to do some demolition, and put the PBUs back. So that was every single night. Every single night was its own rapid construction sequence. You can only move as fast as your slowest link, right? So there's some inefficiencies there that we look to improve upon and create more permanent work zones so we could produce, you know, better productivity, better schedule certainty, and everything that comes with that. As far as the traveling public, you know, the zipper barrier, it's difficult, right? You know, you rely on the equipment which moves it. There's a weather component to it. And if there was any challenges or differing conditions that came up during each rapid construction night, that had a potential impact on the traveling public the next day. So that was a big risk for us, for the owner, for the traveling public, for everyone. So that was one thing we really tried to focus on changing. So just to take you through the rest of the suggested sequence here, basically it was 3 stages. We worked from the outside lanes in. You can see here this would be a daytime condition where we're back to the 2 lanes. We've replaced a piece of the bridge, and we're getting ready to do it again over and over again each night. Stage 2, running up the middle, also provided its own unique challenges where you have the 2 single lanes of traffic in a barrel on either side of you, right? So again, for the traveling public, the emergency response is really difficult here. We got 4,000 feet of viaduct. You know, in order to get a a tow truck in there to service a broken down vehicle, you're doing a lot of extra moves that you wouldn't have to if you have 2 lanes side by side. Also, working in a tight zone like that for the workers, it's just an inherent risk that comes with that sort of work. So that was something we really focused on changing and improving upon. And then lastly, this is just like an image of what stage 3 would be. Again, we're working on that middle portion and we're pushed out at night doing our PBUs. Back to 3 lanes at the end. So risks and realities that we came up with, right? The demolition and PBU erection was too much one season. So one other interesting sequence thing with the suggested sequence was in the first year, you build all the superstructures. So as the video noted, concrete columns with sister beams that run underneath the existing structure, about 4 inches underneath, ready to receive PBUs to let you do this in a rapid fashion. So that was considered to be the first season. The next season, you get up top and you start doing demo and reconstruction. It was a lot of work to envision doing all of that in 1 year. So the sequence that we came up with allowed us to stretch the schedule across both seasons on the superstructure side, which again made it more of a controlled build for us. The majority of the work, as shown, was to be performed at night. This is a really, really dense community. There are areas where you can reach off the side of the bridge and you touching, you know, the fascia of someone's house, the facade of someone's house. So demolition, vibration, noise, dust, all those things at night, you know, that was going to be an impact to the community and all the butters, and something that we really wanted to improve upon if we could. The zipper lane, which I talk about, you know, that the weather and the equipment, that's just a risk of using the zipper barrier. The reliance between demo and PBU erection, again, the inefficiencies of you're only as fast as your slowest operation because everything has to be completed every single night. Large PBU quantities, so that's kind of a unique portion of this project as well. It was originally designed to be all PBUs, over 400 PBUs on the job. And one thing that we were able to do when we created more permanent work zones is we could convert to cast in place. It was an option in the contract. We were able to pull about 125 PBUs to cast in place, bringing that number down to still 313 PBUs, was still quite a bit, but it became possible for the fabricators to achieve. The extensive underdeck bracing, which I kind of mentioned before, we were able to reduce 4,000 in each direction plus feet of bracing down to less than maybe 150 feet total. We were able to kind of fine tune and optimize those cut lines and really make that more efficient. We never had to put a crane on the existing deck. Everything was on grade. So we were either sitting down below or we were sitting at the abutment on grade. So we never had to shore the existing deck in that manner to put a crane up there, which is just, you know, it's just a risk that we didn't feel like it was necessary to take. And then, like I've been mentioning, just the strain on the compromised structure. So we were able to turn portions of the deck over quicker. So here's what we did. We started with, you know, back at the main office before we bid the job, we started with just some conceptual ideas as to like what could we do to create more permanent work zones. And, you know, it started in sketches and it migrated into a 3D model. And, you know, we had a gantry scheme at first, which we moved away from, but that was kind of like the origins of it. So again, starting with our existing conditions, 3 lanes in each direction, we demoed out the median barrier, which this was applicable for probably 2/3 of the job. There was one section where the viaducts are split where this was not an option, but we could do this across 2/3 of the job. And we pushed the traffic across, right? So now we've created a permanent work zone and we can work in a more controlled way. And instead of working in thirds from the inside out, we essentially just created 3 larger, call it 2-lane work zones. All crane picks were from the ground, as you can kind of see here. And it was just a lot, you know, a lot more of a controlled way to attack the work. So moving from our stage 1 on the north side, stage 2 on the south side, and then coming right up the middle, and you can see, you know, down the middle is where we decided to take that cast in place option to release the strain on the fabricator. And these picks in the middle are a little bit more complicated, running along the outsides, and you can get the crane right up on it. These were heavy units, you know, 80 to 90,000 pounds, 120,000 at the max. So, you know, all these are 2 crane picks. We had 600 plus critical 2 crane picks on the job, but we were able to reduce that a little bit when we went up the middle with a cast in place. And finishing with the median barrier and restoring 3 lanes in each direction. So again, I touched on a lot of these things, but just to sum it up, we wanted to focus on the abutters, the traveling public, our workers, and benefits to MassDOT. And the biggest benefit to the abutters is moving nighttime work to day and all the things that come with that, the noise, light, vibration. The traveling public, the zipper barrier was a risk for us, and we were able to remove that. We used steel zone guard instead, permanent work zones. The breakdowns in the single lane barrels, we were able to minimize that as well. We always have 2 lanes next to each other, so the access for accidents was a lot easier. Efficient work zones, as I mentioned, more schedule certainty, less traffic shifts as well, which was a positive for the public, and less of a risk of opening the road late. With this sequence, we were able to start viaduct construction on the superstructure in the spring of 2019 when it was originally planned to be the spring of 2020. So we were able to turn over portions of the new deck early, get people off the old structure and get them on the new. The worker protection, again, that's a big part of the nighttime to daytime conversion there, working in less of those really tight work zones with traffic flying by you on either side. And then for MassDOT, again, schedule certainty, getting people off the old structure. And it was just a really solid collaboration in kind of putting this plan together across the board. So I'm going to turn it over to Rob now, and he's going to speak about some of the ways that we use the 3D model during the project to solve things and keep it going. Just going to flip this over. Does that count? There we go.
All right.
Great.
Thanks, Andrew. So Andrew just described how, we used the VDC and BIM 3D model to help us gain an advantage on the bid, make a safer, less risky project for us. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few things that happened to us during construction and how we continue to use that technology to help us solve those problems. So the design, one of the critical design components of this project was a connection from the new structure to the old structure. So you saw through the video, there's an existing column, and on either side of the column were these PBUs where the sister beams where the new PBUs were going to bear. Those sister beams connected to the existing columns. So because that design element was so critical, the contract required us to do an extensive existing condition survey. So what we had to do is really 2 surveys. We had to survey all the column locations. So there's 151 columns on the job. And we had to survey the bottom of the steel, some of the cross bracing, a lot of the steel elements. And then we also had to survey the location where that connection plate. So we're going to fabricate a new plate from the sister beam to the existing steel that had to line up with those rivets that were there. So we had to as-built all that to figure out all those plates, chop drawings. So to do the first piece, to check the column locations and all the steel, we did a LiDAR survey. We also checked that with conventional survey at many locations just to confirm the data we were getting from the LiDAR. And then to do those connection checks, we used a handheld 3D scanner. This is an image actually from the scanner. So that allowed us to pull that into CAD and I actually locate all those rivet heads. So what we found after these 2 surveys is a few things, right? So the first one was the columns were not exactly where everybody expected them to be. And the tolerance, they were out of location in worst case up to 3 inches longitudinally and 2 inches transversely. And that was beyond the design tolerance for the connections. So, there we go, sorry about that. So basically, that there was a 1/2 inch tolerance at the connection. So on the left-hand side, the red is the existing column. On the right-hand side is the sister beam. And that plate is the connection that was in the original design. It was about a 1/2 inch tolerance that we've made up with shims and drilling and reaming, but that was the design tolerance within that connection. You can also see here, in the top left, some of the sister beams actually interfered with the column. So the sister beam actually couldn't be installed. So at this point, there was a decision to be made because we really couldn't move forward on the job, right? So the way that the job was designed, as you saw in the video, the existing steel column was encapsulated with a new concrete column in corbel. And the steel column was in the center of that new concrete column. So with the columns off, there was a problem. So the two choices were move the concrete columns, which would have involved really a redesign, relocation, recalculation of the whole structure, or to leave the new columns where they were and relocate the existing column within this concrete column and adjust the connections so that they could accommodate that. So really what we did is just that. So this again is a image of the proposed connection. And this was the solution. So it's a simple sister beam to sister beam connection, as you can see by the angle between them. And that's really, it was a lot of collaboration to get there, but it was a pretty simple solution. Changing that connection also resulted in a few other things. Some of the rebar within the column had to be upsized, and we had to add additional anchor bolts into the top of the corbel. So those had to be checked for constructability. So what we ended up doing is modeling all the rebar in every location, and we put the new anchor bolt locations in, we put all the new rebar in, and we learned there was some conflicts. So we worked with the HNTB, and we resolved all those conflicts before we got in the field. Certainly a lot simpler than bending and cutting rebar out in the field. So it was a great collaboration there. So at the end of the day, this solution allowed us to release the steel for fabrication almost on time. The time we did lose, we were able to make up within the job. That sister-to-sister connection was a lot simpler, and we finished the job, right? It was extremely successful from this point on. It was a great collaboration between the joint venture, MassDOT, the owner's rep, Jeff Paul, who you guys know, HNTB, FHWA, City of Chelsea. It really truly was, even though it was a bid build job, we collaborated very similar to a design build job. We tackled the problems together, we solved them, and it really was a success for all parties involved. So with that, we'll open it up to some questions if anybody has any. Or anybody? That's good. Everybody wants to go home, huh? All right, then I guess I'll give it back to you, Austin. You can finish up. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Who's ready for hour number? Just kidding. I'll wrap up our event and get us all back to work or to a long weekend or like myself to a nap. A lot of work went into putting this on, and I'm gonna get a good night's sleep tonight. I'll just say that. Thank you all for attending and participating in our awards program. Thank you to the awards subcommittee for their efforts, Kathy, Mike, John P, and John V. And special thanks for the informal subcommittee members who helped out in one way or another. Deborah, Wendy, Greg, Missy, Delia, Steve, Tom. Yeah, that's the last one. And anyone else I forgot. I guess I'll just throw that in there to cover all my bases. And Lou. Congratulations to each recipient and project team. Your contributions, that doesn't make any sense. You did a great job. I hope each team gets to stick around after. Make sure you get a project photo. You can utilize the stage. You can utilize the banner if you'd like. I have a specific request from the scholarship committee for the students to stick around and get a group shot together with your certificates. And you also need to get your certificates, I think. Feel free to post on social media. I'll eventually get a press release out and a LinkedIn post on it. But feel free to go and do that on your own before I get to it. But it will be out there eventually. And finally, keep your eyes open for our future events. Our next event is slated to be at Polar Park in Worcester for a presentation on the construction of the stadium and a baseball game to follow. Registration should be open in a week or so. It is June 22nd, so registration is going to be open real soon. Thank you all and have a great afternoon.